JBN, we keep you informed. St Andrew teen allegedly held with gun in St Anne. A 17-year-old St Andrew boy was allegedly held with an illegal firearm loaded with 11 bullets in St Anne on Friday. His identity has been withheld pending further investigations. However, the police confirmed that he is from the Walton Park Road area in South St Andrew. The Ocho police reports that just before 3 p.m. on Friday, a team conducted a search of premises in the community of Exchange. The police said during the search, the teen was found with the weapon, a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol, and taken into custody. Cop freed of killing 2 Portmore men in 2014. A police constable who was charged by the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom for the killing of 2 men in Portmore St. Catherine 5 years ago was freed in the St. Catherine Circuit Court on Thursday. Freed was Fabian Durant, who was assigned to the Portmore Police Station prior to his arrest in relation to the deaths of Dadrian Davis and O'Keely Brown. Durant was released by presiding High Court Judge Justice Crescencia Brown Beckford after the Crown conceded that 2 witnesses could not be located. Allegations are that on September 8, 2014, a police team was on an operation in Garveymead, Portmore, when they encountered a group of men who opened fire at them. The police reportedly took evasive action and returned fire. After the shooting subsided, Davis and Brown were found with gunshot wounds and were later pronounced dead at the hospital. 2 illegal guns were reportedly seized by the police, who also claimed the men had been members of a criminal network. Residents, however, contended that the men were killed in cold blood. Indicom commenced an investigation into the incident, which resulted in Durant being charged with murder. Producer calls out Rasta community for lack of support. Noted producer, engineer, and songwriter Dale Virgo has voiced concerns about the level of support he and his family have been receiving as the fight continues for their daughter who was last year refused entry to school because of her dreadlocked hairstyle. The producer's wife, Shireen, filed a claim last year asserting that the action of Kensington Primary School against her daughter breached several of her rights guaranteed under the Constitution. The couple has spent the last 4 days in the Supreme Court fighting for their daughter, who was permitted to attend the school last September after an injunction was granted in August 2018. There are persons overseas shocked to hear that this is happening in our country, and while I'm getting more support from persons living across the globe, including entertainers via social media, I am not seeing much from the Rasta community, he said. He said that he would have liked his fight for constitutional rights to have a following as loud as a No Music, No Vote campaign, which was motivated by the dancehall struggles with the Noise Abatement Act. I have wondered if the Rastas are discouraged because them quiet, or maybe them feel like nothing is going to change. I believe we can move past this and evolve. Look, in the society there are lawyers and other professions who wear locks, he said. So while the primary level of education, excuses are being made that individuals with locks have lice and should not wear it. That is an untrue and unfair statement. Aside from being troubled by the lack of vocal support, the producer father says it has been stressful and is constantly worried about the outcome. The verdict should be made by January 17, 2020. At first, we were worried that our daughter would be bullied or treated unfairly at the school, but we have been very much involved in her school life. While our views are constantly under the microscope, we did not want that to affect our daughter's education, and at no time did we want to discredit the school. We are all about effecting change in Jamaica and in the way the bureaucracies are being practiced as it relates to the no-locks situation, he said. Yalas residents seek to reclaim river for domestic use. Miners in St. Thomas are expected to be called to a meeting with the Ministry of Transport and Mining following a letter written by residents who say they are unable to use the Yalas River for domestic purposes. The letter, which was sent through the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation to the ministry, resulted in a tour of the communities through which the river runs. The tour was led by Commissioner of Mines Roy Nicholson and his team from the Mines and Geology Division. Councillor Edward Marr said the citizens of the area have been complaining about the issue for the last few years. I applaud the persons who put that letter together To be honest, the domestic use of the Yalas River has been completely wiped out because of the continuous mining of the quarry operators. I too believe that citizens and miners should have access to the river for recreational and operation purposes respectively, he said. Mar, who was a part of the tour, said he's pleased about the expected meeting, which he said is set for the first week of November, despite hoping for an earlier date. During the meeting, the experts are expected to explore ways in which best practices are adopted by miners in St. Thomas with regard to river training and contouring to ensure the free flow of water throughout its course. Following the miners' expected adherence to these instructions, Mar said he hopes the Yalas River will return to its former glory. We're still hoping for the best where the river is concerned. I remember growing up we could go for a swim while our parents washed our clothes, or even for a little family or community picnic. All this have been depleted since mining in the area became popular, he said, noting that there are some 9 quarries operating from the Yalas River. He continued, even more than that is the fact that we now have water problems, and the river should be the residents' alternative source right now. Sometimes they are out of water for up to 2 weeks, so it's really bad. I feel confident about the way forward, and I'm expecting a result that will suit the residents' concerns in the shortest possible time. Dengue concerns downplayed in Trelawney. While Trelawney is currently seeing an increase in the number of suspected cases of dengue fever, Dr. Diane Dale, the medical officer of health for the parish, is not unduly worried, saying the situation is not abnormal. It is not unusual for there to be an increase during this time of the year. Trelawney is no different from other parishes, especially where there is constant rain, Dale said. There's been only one confirmed death from the mosquito-borne disease in the parish. There have been other deaths which have been suspected to be associated with dengue, but lab results have not yet confirmed that these people died from dengue. She's calling on persons, especially the young and elderly, who are afflicted by diseases like asthma and sickle cell, to seek medical attention urgently when certain symptoms are observed. Go to the doctor and avoid taking aspirin, which helps to thin the blood, and in the case of a person with dengue, the risk of bleeding is ever present, said Dale. She said that most of the parish's dengue cases have surfaced in areas where people are without piped water and store the commodity in drums. The mosquito breeds in clear water, so if the water is stored in drums, then residents are encouraged to cover them. The way the garbage is being disposed of is another way that offers grounds for the mosquito to breed, continued Dale. Residents should ensure that their garbage is stored in a way that it does not offer opportunities to catch rainfall. Sometimes garbage is not collected timely, and this becomes a vehicle for the mosquito to breed in. The Ministry of Health and Wellness recently increased the number of vector control officers in western Jamaica and has stepped up fogging exercises to reduce the mosquito population. We want to encourage residents to open their windows when fogging is being done. This allows the smoke to go into those areas where the mosquitoes may congregate and then come out after the fogging is done, said Dale. New parking system implemented in Port Maria. A new street parking system has been established in Port Maria, St Mary, in an attempt to reduce congestion in the parish capital and also to restore public order. The new parking initiative was implemented by the St Mary Municipal Corporation and comes against the background of repeated appeals from the commuting public and consumers who find it increasingly difficult to traverse the public thoroughfare. We have started our on-street parking system. There are 4 streets that are covered: Warner Street, Hudson Street, Main Street, and Cox Street. Persons are required to pay a fee of $100 when they park in those areas. If the fee is not paid, then the vehicle is clamped, and there is a removal fee of $3,000. If the vehicle remains clamped for a period of an hour, then it is removed to the pound, Richard Query, mayor of Port Maria, said. He noted that the new parking initiative is already reaping success. Any vehicle parked in a no parking area will be towed immediately. It is working so far, and one of the early successes is that on Main Street. There were a lot of taxis that ply the Islington route that used to take up all the parking on that street. Now that we have the new parking system, they can no longer park there, but instead have to use the transportation center, Query said. The citizens of Port Mario are very happy with it. Both pedestrians as well as persons coming into the town to do business will be able to find adequate parking. Previously, one had to drive around probably 3 times on the one way to try and find parking space. Now you can find that parking space very easily and pay a small fee to park and transact business, Query further added. According to Query, the new changes have eased the congestion. He also said no parking signs are being erected in the town. No parking is allowed on Stennett Street. Some of the areas that taxis use to park are no longer available to them for parking. The police have assisted us, and we have our municipal police assisting with the process. We have ticket wardens who walk around selling the tickets and observe what is happening. The police are also monitoring bus and taxi that would want to use areas that they are not allowed to use. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.